Hey, so I was looking earlier and I posted a video and it said that I had to have like 2 videos or something at least on a page to get when someone looks up the word synchronicity for my last video. And so they wouldn't even pop up, I guess, if I didn't have at least 2 videos on my channel. So now I'm going to go ahead and record another little short one. But I mean, this adds into what I was talking about. So there's synchronicity with numbers. You'll see sequences of numbers in times whenever, you know, whether you're doing the right thing or the wrong thing, you're going to see numbers. And like I said in the last video, my number that I know I'm doing something like, or even if I don't know, I'll start seeing the number 948 all the time. And there's more you can go into on like the definitions of each individual number. Like I found out in my life breath number, I'm a number 9. And to me, like I just figured, you know, the symbol or the number 8 like is the symbol of infinity sideways. I mean, if you look at Revelations 22:13, it says you know, John, he's writing the book of, it's believed to be written by John, but he's writing and saying, you know, as in the words of God, and he says, I am Alpha, I am Omega, I am beginning, and I am end, and I am end. But if you look at the numbers 2213, add them up, 8. 8 symbolizes infinity and forever. It's never going to stop. It's just everything's going to keep on going and going. And you know, because he's Alpha, he's Omega, he's beginning, he's end, he's love, he's everything. And so I see those numbers, and I found out I'm a number 9 later on. You know, so it says it's kind of like defined as 948, like me for him is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so anyway, yeah, like I said, what I was going to get at though is so I've been seeing this number 222 so much lately. I mean, I went and I seen the woman that I mentioned I had a child with before I was locked up last time, and she's already had the baby, and his name's Jordan. He's a little boy, and I started seeing the number 222 very frequent, and I was like, okay. Well, I had talked to her about it. I'm like, man, it's weird. I started seeing these numbers. I'm explaining to her everything like I do, you know, on the channel, and she was just like, okay, you know, it makes sense though. And I was like, well, I don't know what the number 222 means. So I looked it up, and I'm pretty sure that it was saying that it means that there's going to be, you know, new beginnings for you. Like this is the start of something good. And I was actually spending some time with her and the child, and we're not together, you know, but I've been, this was the girl the first girl I ever had a crush on when I was 8 years old. And we get to her parents' house, and they have like this house, and her dad built it himself. It's smaller, but amazingly, I mean, I just couldn't believe it. And I showed her on the wall, you can see where it's been painted over, and there's like a family like little stick her dad has. He does that. He carves in it all the names of people in their family, and above it, painted behind the paint of the wall, it says 222 in big bold letters. And I showed it to her, or numbers, and I showed it to her, and I was like, can you believe that? That is synchronicity. The fact that I'm seeing the number, the fact that I'm with her talking about it, and then God delivered the proof. I don't know how that number got there. I mean, it was obviously put there by someone's hand at some time. That number meant something to them, but the relativity of it meaning the same, like it was exactly what I needed at exactly the right time. And it's just truly amazing, the love and stuff that it's synchronicity. I mean, it's God. God is love. You know, Jesus says, he's like, you know, they asked him, I believe it was Peter, and he's like, what do we do if your brother sins against you 7 times in one day? He said, well, then forgive him 7 times in that very day. And, you know, it's like with the politicians and stuff right now, like, I don't like talking about it, you know, but like Trump, okay, yeah, he's cool. At first I was like, yeah, hell yeah, Team Trump, because he's talking about blowing Kim Jong-un off the face of the map because he's over there testing rockets, and he didn't touch a rocket the whole time Trump was in office. You know, dude's a badass, but he is exactly what is talked about in the Bible as like the Antichrist, you know, and he's talked about it because you have to understand what the Antichrist is. God, or Jesus says to just forgive and to you know, just try to be as Christ-like as you can. The Antichrist would be the exact opposite. And a man thinks that he's doing right in his own eyes all the time. And like I was like, okay, yeah, dude's doing good. Like Trump, you know, he's putting these people in check. Well, that is opening the door for a world leader, you know, saying, hey, America's better than everyone else when we're all individual people on this planet. You know, Black lives matter, white lives matter, all lives matter. They all do. And people just need to see that. I mean, if everyone just took a moment out of their day to just walk and just pick up a piece of trash outside, just one piece. If everyone did that, I mean, you just cut down the world's littering. I mean, you're cutting it down. I mean, it'd be unbelievable, the numbers, the percentage rates. I mean, I don't know what they would be, but it'd be amazing. And you know, that's just, it's so hard to imagine in today's world. You know, this world is just so corrupt. There's so many beautiful things in this world too, but the basis of it is that the world is just corrupt. And yeah, it's just it's sad. It's just really sad how bad it's gotten. You know, and Biden, the other president right now, there ain't anything that guy doesn't twist up and say that just messes everything up, you know. So it's just obvious that we live in a very divided country, and there's people that are hungry for power. And you know, it's just, whenever you think that you're doing something right, just always sit back and really analyze it. Just be like, you know, I mean, I'm not a Bible thumper, but you know, I'm like, well, what would Jesus do? You know, WWJD, what would Jesus do if I was walking by someone and they were on the ground and they needed help, you know? Well, I revert back to what happened, you know, like with in biblical times, there was a disease going around called leprosy. People would have like a mange or like a scabies kind of disease, a scabbing on them, and it was contagious, very contagious. So they would like ban them from the cities. I don't think they were really like dying rapidly from it, but like it was a skin condition, and it was very contagious. So they would like make them leave. And Jesus and his disciples are walking by one day, and they see 10 people, and all 10 of them have the leprosy disease. And they run up to Jesus, and the disciples are like, Jesus, be wary of, you know, they have the leprosy. And they're like, Jesus, we heard that you are, you know, you're the Christ and the Messiah, and please heal us, help us. And you know, at this time they're at a position in their life where they're at a rock bottom, like an all-time low, and they're looking at this man because they've heard about him, and they just have faith. They're just like, everyone's talking about it. It's true. It has to be. There's nothing else it could be. So their faith was so impeccable at that moment, like just as much as it's probably ever been ever, because they're at an all-time low. They're away from their families, and Jesus tells them to go to the priest of a nearby town, I believe, and he's like, let them know that you've been cleansed, or to have them cleanse you, but you are now healed. And as they're running as fast as they can to get to this place, they can just see it happening before their eyes. The leprosy it's going away, like before their eyes, off their skin and everything. And Jesus says, he's like, and there were 10, but where were the 9? You know, you can do all the things you do after reading the Bible and trying to be as Christ-like as possible, which is all that, you know, Father God asks. You just try to be like his only begotten son, you know what I mean? Just try to be like him. He came down here and died for us to prove a point, and just try to be like him. And, you know, as they were all running away, and only one turned around and gave appreciation for what Jesus did. They all 10 of them knew that Jesus was the one who done it at that moment. He healed them, sent them to the priest, and now they get to go home with their families and their loved ones and live a happy life. And only one of them turned around and thanked him. Now, he doesn't, you know, he's a jealous God. He doesn't want you to think anyone else does something for you, because they don't really care, those other, you know, people, the devil and false gods. And he cares. So yes, he's very jealous. He's envious, very, because he loves you. And it's truly amazing if you just stop throughout the day and you start to see little signs like that, and you just give appreciations. You know, it ain't gotta be anything. You don't have to be that man who preaches out in the street. Just have that personal relationship in the beginning if you're new at it, and just be thankful that there's someone looking out for you. Like, I mean, only person I have in my life, my whole life, my only family. My mother and father fought as I was growing up. I have a little brother. His name's Justin, and I love him so much. You know, he went on a complete different path than I did. He just does right. He has a child now too, and he's with a woman that he loves. And you know, he's all I have. And he told me the other day, we hung out for the first time really in years, and he sat there and he's like, man, it's not like I don't love you. He's like, you're just, you know, you've always been a drug addict and you've always been messing up. And he's like, I saw what it did to you and I didn't want any part in it. He's like, but I mean, yeah, I would love to have my big brother, man. He's like, I love you. And it just, you know, I didn't realize that as much as he's all I got, I'm all he has. You know, my mother's still a drug addict. My father had a stroke 10 years ago. He can't talk. He's an amputee now on his leg. He had an infection and lost it. Just, you know, and I could go in and I'm dragging this out, but the numbers that I see are, and the way that it's explained, it's kind of in a way prophecy. Like you start seeing these numbers and then they start adding up. It's him just letting you know, like, I believe that it's described as it's the angels actually guiding you. You know, I believe there's 3 pathways that's laid out there and for you. And if you look at that, if you draw it on a piece of paper, it kind of looks like, you know, the way you draw it, you kind of do like a little boom, a loop, and then boom, it kind of like a pitchfork. There's one beginning, and then there's 3 roads that it shoots to. And there's your way, God's way, and the devil's way. And if you try to take your way, your own way, you are going to stumble and you're going to fall right into the path of the way the devil wants you to, because you're of the flesh. You're going to do the desires of your flesh, and that, you know, the flesh is of the devil. Sexual immortality, all of that kind of stuff, you know. And it's just, but if you walk, just try as hard as you can. You know, you're gonna fall. It's gonna happen. But just get yourself back up. You know, if you have children, look at them. I mean, they're what it was supposed to be about. Children are not supposed to have a care in this world. They're just supposed to just have what they need and just be children. Because, you know, you don't get to be that forever. And in the beginning, I believe in the garden, like that's what it was supposed to be. They were as children, Adam and Eve, and then they just didn't listen, and that's how it all began. But I'm gonna cut this one shorter than the last one, and I'm gonna start kind of writing down stuff. This is just new, but I feel like it's what I want to do, and I want to be able to show people in better, like on paper and with maybe a marker board or something behind me. I don't know, but I'll definitely get better at it. And just if you're seeing this stuff, man, please don't ignore it. Please, it is definitely the divine creator trying to make contact with you. I don't know who this is for, but it just came to my mind. So I know this video is going to be seen by someone who needs this. If you're seeing the number 11 a lot, or 1111, that is literally 11. 11 is a personal number of contact. He is literally, you're seeing that number because he's trying to have that one-on-one with you. Do you see what I'm saying? The synchronicity of what he's doing. The numbers are everything. Don't get too hung up on the numbers. Don't confuse yourself. The more you just let it be and you just analyze and view it and interpret it, you know, your first interpretation that feels like that, you know, that's got to be it. And if you don't know, ask. You can reach out to me somehow, however you comment or do all that stuff on here. And I mean, I will give you the information that I feel like the Lord wants me to give you. And just know, man, God's a good God. And I appreciate y'all for watching, man. Thank you.